Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most explosive storylines unfolding in Port Charles. Secrets are bubbling to the surface, long-lost truths are about to be exposed, and a desperate rescue mission might just change everything. Stick around, because this breakdown is going to be a wild ride. Lulu Spencer's discovery, a secret that could change everything. Lulu Spencer has always been one to chase the truth, but even she isn't prepared for what she's about to uncover. As she inches closer to revealing the shocking details hidden within Martin Gray's briefcase, she has no idea that her next move could send shockwaves through the entire town. What starts as a simple investigation into Valentine Cassidy's whereabouts soon takes a dramatic turn when Lulu stumbles upon a collection of documents. Documents that suggest Giovanni Gio Palmieri is not who everyone thinks he is. Buried in the fine print, one devastating truth stands out. Dante Falconeri, the man who has no idea he fathered another child, is Joe's biological father. And even more shocking, Brooklyn Quartermain Chase is his mother. This revelation could tear families apart, rewrite the dynamics of multiple relationships, and bring long-buried emotions back to the surface. How did this information remain hidden for so long? Who was responsible for keeping this secret buried? The questions keep piling up, but the real challenge will be deciding what to do with this newfound knowledge. Lulu is a woman of action, and once she has information in her hands, she won't stop until she exposes the truth. But fate has a way of complicating things. Just as she's on the brink of revealing Joe's real parentage, another crisis erupts, one that demands her full attention. Her daughter, Charlotte Cassadine, is still missing, and the mystery of her whereabouts threatens to overshadow everything else. Will Lulu be able to handle both of these massive revelations at the same time? Jason Morgan, the ultimate protector, steps in. There's one person in Port Charles who never shies away from a mission, and that's Jason Morgan. When Jason takes on a task, you can bet he'll see it through to the end. So when the search for Charlotte intensifies, all eyes turn to him. If there's anyone who can bring her home safely, it's Jason. However, the question remains, will he inform Lulu about his plan? On one hand, Jason understands that Lulu deserves to know that there's hope for her daughter's return. On the other hand, he also knows that Lulu can be unpredictable when emotions take over. If she gets too involved, it could complicate his rescue efforts. Jason might choose to operate in silence, gathering intel and ensuring that Charlotte is actually at the location before making any promises. After all, a text message isn't proof. It's a lead, but it doesn't guarantee success. There are still too many unknowns. Charlotte might be in immediate danger. Valentine might be more prepared than they think. The entire mission could be a trap. Jason understands the risks better than anyone. But if he embarks on this journey, failure is not an option. Charlotte Cassadine's struggle, a teenage life in chaos. For a teenage girl, life should be about friendships, first crushes, and self-discovery. Unfortunately, Charlotte Cassadine is experiencing none of that. Instead of enjoying her high school years, she's stuck in a whirlwind of uncertainty, being dragged from place to place by her fugitive father, Valentine Cassadine. Valentine is a complicated man. He loves his daughter, but his choices have made her life incredibly unstable. Since they fled Port Charles in an attempt to escape the fallout of his pikeman dealings, Charlotte has been cut off from everyone she once knew. Her mother, her friends, her home. Each passing day pushes her further away from the life she should be living. At first, she may have believed that running away was an adventure. Maybe she convinced herself that standing by her father's side was the right thing to do. But reality has a way of setting in, and deep down she must feel the weight of her situation. The danger is constant, the uncertainty overwhelming. Does she regret leaving? Does she want to return home? Or has she convinced herself that this chaotic life is her only option? Valentine, on the other hand, is too wrapped up in his own problems to see what his daughter is going through. He believes he's protecting her, but in reality he's dragging her into his mess. The more time Charlotte spends on the run, the harder it will be for her to return to normal life. She's living in survival mode, and every day that passes makes it harder to break free. A clue that changes everything. Rocco Falconeri and Danny Morgan step up. While the adults scramble to find solutions, it's two young boys who uncover a crucial detail. Rocco Falconeri and Danny Morgan. These two may be young, but they're sharper than most people realize. When Charlotte manages to send Rocco a text message, it becomes the first real lead in weeks. The boys quickly put the pieces together, realizing that this message might be the key to finding her. They don't hesitate. They rush to Jason, knowing that if anyone can do something about this, it's him. But what does the message actually say? Does it provide a clear location? Or is it a cryptic plea for help? There's a sense of urgency now. Jason has to act fast. Every minute wasted is another minute that Charlotte remains in danger. But what if the message is misleading? What if it's part of a trap? Jason is no stranger to deception, and he knows better than to rush in without a plan. The turning point, Jason's game-changing decision. As the dust settles and the stakes become clearer, Jason is faced with a critical choice, one that could alter the lives of everyone involved. If he embarks on this mission, there's no turning back. He has to be prepared for anything, from an intense confrontation with Valentine to the possibility that Charlotte may not be willing to come back. And then there's the question of timing. If Jason successfully brings Charlotte home, what happens next? Will Lulu be too consumed with her daughter's return to expose the truth about Joe's parentage? Or will the two shocking revelations collide at the same time, sending shockwaves through Port Charles? The future of Port Charles. What comes next? One thing is certain, this storyline is far from over. The consequences of these events will ripple through Port Charles for a long time to come. Jason's decision, Charlotte's fate, Lulu's discovery, and the truth about Gio all have the potential to shift relationships, destroy trust, and reshape the town's dynamics. Will Charlotte finally return home? Or is there another twist waiting around the corner? Will Lulu keep Joe's secret under wraps? Or will she expose the truth and send Dante and Brooke Lynn into a tailspin? And most importantly, will Jason's mission succeed? Or will it lead to even greater danger? One thing's for sure. Port Charles is on the brink of chaos, and the aftermath will be impossible to predict. Next, we're diving into a deeply emotional moment that had every General Hospital fan reaching for tissues. Lucky Spencer delivered a heart-wrenching line that left viewers stunned, reflecting on the legacy of his father, Luke Spencer. But that's just the beginning. There's so much more to discuss about what this means for Port Charles, the characters involved, and where the story might be headed next. Let's get into it. The emotional weight of Lucky Spencer's performance. One thing General Hospital has always excelled at is giving us characters who feel real, raw, and deeply layered. Lucky Spencer is no exception. For years, fans have admired his emotional depth, his struggles, and his ability to carry some of the show's most gut-wrenching moments. What makes him stand out, though, is that his pain never feels exaggerated. It's authentic, nuanced, and portrayed with the kind of vulnerability that resonates with audiences. Jonathan Jackson, the actor behind Lucky, has a way of delivering lines that cut straight to the heart. His ability to bring intensity and sincerity to his performances has kept fans invested in his journey, and this latest scene with Sonny Corinthos was no exception. If anything, it was one of the most impactful moments we've seen from Lucky in a long time. The way he spoke about Luke was filled with nostalgia, grief, and a quiet sense of longing. When he recalled hearing Luke's voice saying, "Not yet, cowboy. Not yet," it was as if the entire General Hospital fandom collectively held their breath. That simple phrase carried so much weight, not just for Lucky, but for everyone who has followed Luke's story over the years. It was a nod to their unique bond, their complicated relationship, and the way Luke's presence still lingers in his son's life. Fans react, an outpouring of emotion. As soon as the episode aired, fans wasted no time sharing their thoughts. Social media erupted with reactions, some heartbroken, some nostalgic, and others simply in awe of how powerful the scene was. Many viewers took to the internet to express how much they appreciated the moment between Lucky and Sunny. One fan commented, "I know this may not be popular, but I'm loving that Sunny is allowed to show Luke's son some love and affection. At one time, Luke and Sunny were best friends who would have died for each other." Another fan pointed out the significance of the scene, saying, "Their history is longer than almost anyone's, honestly. I appreciate the nod to the past and seeing JJ and MB share the screen again." But not everyone was feeling sentimental. Some fans were quick to criticize how General Hospital has handled certain character relationships in recent years. One particularly passionate comment read, "It's about damn time. These writers have been ignoring, twisting, and rewriting the great history of GH and its characters. Most of the characters are unrecognizable in their behavior. Out of nowhere, they had Anna and Laura cut Sunny out of their lives just because he hit Cyrus, a defenseless old man. Then there were those who simply couldn't hold back their emotions." One fan wrote, "I felt like tearing up during all the Lucky scenes, but I didn't. Maybe I didn't need to because JJ always does it for me. LOL, but I loved it." The legacy of Luke Spencer, and what it means for Lucky. Luke Spencer was more than just a character. He was an institution in General Hospital. His charm, his flaws, his unpredictable nature, all of it made him one of the most unforgettable figures in soap opera history. And now, even in his absence, his legacy still looms large over Port Charles. Lucky has always struggled with his father's larger-than-life shadow. Their relationship was complicated, to say the least. There was love, but also betrayal, distance, and deep wounds that never quite healed. Hearing Luke's voice in his mind wasn't just a fleeting moment. It was a reminder that no matter how much time passes, the bond between father and son is never truly broken. But what does this moment mean for Lucky going forward? Is this a sign that he's finally making peace with his father's memory? Or is it opening old wounds that could pull him back into a darker place? The show has left the door open for interpretation, but one thing is clear. Luke's presence is still deeply felt, even if he's not physically there. The connection between Sunny and Lucky, a bond rekindled? While the conversation about Luke was undeniably emotional, there was another element at play: Sunny and Lucky's relationship. Longtime viewers know that Luke and Sunny once shared a deep bond. They had each other's backs, stood by one another during tough times, and were, at one point, inseparable. Over the years, their lives took different turns, but that foundation of loyalty never completely faded. Seeing Sunny connect with Lucky in such a personal way brought back memories of that old friendship. It was a reminder that, despite everything, Sunny still respects and cares about Luke's family. And maybe, just maybe, this scene hints at a deeper storyline to come. One where Sunny becomes more involved in Lucky's life again. What's next for Port Charles? With so many emotions swirling after this episode, fans are left wondering, where does the story go from here? Will Lucky continue to struggle with his past? Or is this the beginning of healing for him? Seeing him reflect on his father could mean that he's ready to embrace Luke's legacy in a new way. But it could also stir up old wounds that he hasn't fully processed. Could this moment lead to more screen time for Lucky? Fans have been clamoring for more of him. And if the writers are smart, they'll capitalize on the reaction to this emotional scene. Will Sunny's role in Lucky's life grow stronger? Their conversation felt like a rekindling of an old connection, one that could play a bigger role in the show moving forward. And let's not forget, this is General Hospital. Twists and turns are always lurking around the corner. Could there be more to Luke's story that we haven't seen yet? Could Lucky's vision be more than just a memory? Soap operas have a way of keeping fans guessing. And something tells us this isn't the last time we'll hear Luke's name mentioned in such a powerful way. This episode was one for the books. Lucky Spencer's emotional moment gave fans everything: nostalgia, heartbreak, and a deep dive into the complex relationships that make General Hospital so compelling. The scene wasn't just about remembering Luke. It was about the way his influence still lingers in the lives of those who loved him. As always, we'll have to keep tuning in to see how things unfold. But one thing is for sure: this storyline has struck a chord, and General Hospital is far from done with the emotional roller coaster. Next, we're diving into a major conspiracy brewing in General Hospital. Drew Quartermaine is playing a dangerous game, manipulating the people around him while secretly working to frame Jason Morgan. But is Drew acting alone? Or is he deeper in the web of corruption than anyone realizes? There are betrayals, hidden alliances, and shocking revelations ahead. So let's break it all down. Is Drew Quartermaine the mastermind behind Jason Morgan's setup? Drew Quartermaine has been making moves in Port Charles that have raised a lot of eyebrows. But the biggest question on everyone's mind is he the reason Jason is being framed? For weeks now, Jason has been in the crosshairs of a setup so intricate that only someone with inside knowledge could pull it off. And guess what? Drew fits that description perfectly. The evidence against Jason is piling up, but something doesn't add up. The key piece of forensic evidence placing Jason at the crime scene is DNA, something the WSB should never have had access to. But there's one person who could have easily provided it: Drew. After all, Jason and Drew share the same DNA, making it almost impossible to distinguish between the two. Could Drew have planted evidence to set Jason up? Jack Brennan has made it his mission to eliminate Jason, but why? Could Drew be secretly pulling the strings? There's a possibility that Brennan is just a pawn in Drew's grander scheme, using his power to make Jason look guilty while Drew stays in the shadows. If that's the case, the betrayal runs even deeper than we thought. Carly Spencer's role. Will she uncover the truth? Carly Spencer has always had an instinct for sniffing out deception, and it won't be long before she starts piecing things together. But there's another layer to this. Carly's daughter, Jocelyn Jacks, is somehow connected to whatever Brennan is up to. Could this be the key to unraveling the entire conspiracy? Carly has already lost so much, and if she finds out that Drew has been working behind the scenes to destroy Jason, there will be no coming back from it. She has stood by Drew in the past, but once she learns the truth, their alliance will shatter beyond repair. If Carly gets too close to the truth, will Drew try to take her down too? Drew Quartermaine, the crooked politician? For years, Drew Quartermaine played the role of the honorable, loyal man. But lately, it's become clear that he's far from the hero he pretends to be. His manipulation has reached new levels, and his political ambitions may be hiding something far more sinister. Could Drew's alliances with Brennan and Jen Sidwell be about more than just eliminating Jason? Sidwell has already tried to kill Jason at least twice, and is the prime suspect in the bombing of Sonny Corinthos' penthouse. Yet, Drew still wants to do business with him. If Drew were truly concerned about justice, he wouldn't be aligning himself with a man like Sidwell. Even more suspicious is Drew's attempt to take control of Sonny's peers. This power move suggests that Drew isn't just targeting Jason. He's also trying to dismantle Sonny's empire piece by piece. But why? Is he positioning himself as the next major power player in Port Charles? And if so, what's his ultimate goal? Drew's betrayal of Willow and Nina. A calculated move? Drew's personal life is just as messy as his secret dealings. His affair with Nina Reeves wasn't just a fling. It was part of a bigger strategy. It seems like he wasn't interested in Nina herself, but rather her daughter, Willow Corinthos. Drew played a direct role in breaking up Willow's marriage, and now he's lying to her about his meeting with Jason. But why? Is he trying to gain control over Willow for some reason? Could he be positioning himself to take advantage of her vulnerability, now that she's been emotionally devastated? The way Drew is manipulating his friends and family proves that he's no longer the man he once was. His actions are not just personal. They're strategic, calculated moves meant to isolate people from Jason while strengthening his own power. Drew's ultimate betrayal. Breaking Sam McCall's final wishes before she died, Sam McCall made one final request of Drew: to ensure that her children stayed together. She wanted them to have the family bond that she never got to experience growing up. Drew swore he would uphold her wishes. But what did he do instead? He separated them. When Jason moved into the Quartermaine mansion, Drew moved out, splitting Sam's children apart and ensuring that they rarely see each other. This was not an accident. This was not circumstance. Drew deliberately chose to go against Sam's dying wish, and for what? Pure spite. Sam would be livid if she knew what Drew was doing. The fact that he's using Jason as a pawn in his twisted game only makes it worse. Jason has even tried to make peace, offering a truce for the sake of the kids, but Drew refuses. Instead of working toward unity, Drew continues to lie about Jason's intentions, further deepening the divide. Will Drew's web of lies finally collapse? Drew has built a house of cards, and it's only a matter of time before it all comes crashing down. The problem with deception is that it can only hold up for so long before the truth starts slipping through the cracks. Will the evidence against Jason backfire on Drew? If someone like Carly, Sonny, or even Willow starts digging, they may uncover that Drew was the one who planted the DNA evidence to frame Jason. Will Jack Brennan and Jen Sidwell turn against Drew? If Brennan realizes he's being used, he might decide that Drew is a bigger liability than Jason. Will Sonny retaliate? Drew's attempts to take over his peers and manipulate his allies won't go unnoticed for long. If Sonny catches on, Drew will have a major target on his back. Most importantly, will Port Charles finally see Drew for the man he really is?